Greetings on behalf of the Planning Accreditation Board, or PAB. This is the fifth and final module in our series provided online to help prepare you for your role as a member of a site visit team. As we go through this video, you may stop the presentation at any time and resume at your convenience. Throughout this presentation, we encourage you to write down questions that come to you. If your question is not answered or you are confused about something in this video, please contact PAB staff and they will get back to you with an answer. In addition to the training modules, the PAB website has several valuable manuals and additional resources for site visitors. Please read these manuals and review these resources prior to your visit, as they will refresh your memory of some of this information and provide more detailed information than we can share in this video. In this module, we will examine in detail Standard 5, Governance. The governance standard is designed to ensure that an academic planning program is operating in a fair, consistent, transparent, inclusive, and independent manner. This standard addresses a variety of topics related to the governance, including the processes the program uses and the institutional structure in which it operates. The program shall make decisions through the governance process that exhibits a high degree of transparency, inclusiveness, and autonomy. The program shall be located within an identifiable and distinct academic unit, such as a department or school, and the program's faculty shall be clearly identifiable part of delivering courses for any planning-related degrees. The program shall involve faculty and students as appropriate in administrative decisions that affect them and shall demonstrate that those decisions serve to implement the program's strategic plan. There are 7 criteria within the governance standard. Let's address each one in turn. For each, we will review the text of the criterion, highlight PAB's expectations regarding compliance, and share some situations that may challenge that compliance. Examples are meant to illustrate situations that might be red flags for site visitors. They are not intended to serve as strict definitions of lack of compliance. Program autonomy is the first criterion within the governance standard. Please pause the presentation to read this text. This criterion addresses the program's responsibility and authority in designing its curriculum, hiring and evaluating faculty, and admitting and assessing students. Program autonomy highlights the program's ability to self-govern within the larger institution. The program will be led by an administrator, with faculty and students actively involved in decision-making, including the self-study report and PAB submissions. The program should outline its organizational structure, faculty processes, curriculum development, available resources, and shared resource allocation, noting any decision-making limitations. An example of a challenge to meeting this criterion could be if the planning program is housed in a department where a personnel committee makes decisions on faculty appointments, promotion, tenure, evaluation, and only one member of the planning faculty serves on this committee. This situation challenges program autonomy as the program director lacks authority over faculty decisions, and the faculty have limited representation on the personnel committee. Another example could be a recent reorganization where the planning program is housed as resulted in different lines of authority and decision-making processes, but the bylaws have not been updated yet. Although the informal processes may be working well at present, they have not been formalized into written policies and procedures. Tip: look for who reviews and votes on what. For example, promotion and tenure guidelines for how the program has an independent voice in the tenure process. Could be majority on initial review committee. chair of review committees, etc. Program leadership is the second criterion within the governance standard. Please pause the presentation to read this text. This criterion outlines the qualifications and experience required for the program administrator, emphasizing the need for someone with the planning education and/or experience to lead the program effectively. Previously, the program administrator was required to be a tenured faculty member. While that is no longer required, it is typically the case. It is expected that the program administrator will not be an assistant professor, as they do not have tenure yet and would be leading those with tenure or more seniority. A challenge to this criterion could be if the program administrator is an assistant professor or has insufficient experience in planning. Tip: look for expertise in planning and indication of stability over time. For example, tenure, multi-year contracts. Communication is the third criterion within the governance standard. Please pause the presentation to read this text. This criterion addresses the need for the program to communicate with and seek input from a wide variety of stakeholders about the program's goals and its progress in achieving them. Stakeholders include those within and outside the university, such as current and prospective students, faculty, alumni, employers, professional associations, practitioners, and others. The program must find effective methods for two-way communication and interaction and ensure that its administrator is regularly accessible to stakeholders. Methods of communication can include approaches such as newsletters, emails, websites, podcasts, videos, gatherings, social media platforms, etc. Programs must provide evidence of communication with a variety of groups. An example of a challenge to meeting this criterion would be if information on the program's website is very limited, out of date, or if communication does not occur regularly. A related challenge is when a program is reliant on other university entities to update the website, or those updates do not happen in a timely manner. Tip: look for evidence of regular communication among a variety of groups. Faculty and student participation is the fourth criterion within the governance standard. Please pause the presentation to read this text. Program stakeholders should have input in the decisions that affect them. Documented mechanisms for gathering and responding to stakeholder input facilitate meaningful participation in administrative decisions. Another key aspect of this criterion is how the program responds when concerns are raised by an interested party. Is there a mechanism for the concern to be addressed within the program? Does the program provide a response to the interested party that describes how the concern was addressed and what the outcome is? The program will describe how it provides opportunities for faculty and student involvement in programmatic decisions that affect them and how information regarding a final decision is disseminated to students and faculty. Evidence should cover a range of time and types of decisions that have been made. Irregular faculty meetings with little notice of issue to be addressed and lack of participation by students, alumni, adjunct faculty in particular activities, such as strategic planning, could indicate potential challenges to meeting this criterion. Tip: look for who is invited to faculty meetings. Promotion and tenure is the fifth criterion within the governance standard. Please pause the presentation to read this text. The program must publish policies and procedures for making decisions about the promotion and tenure of its faculty and demonstrate consistent and fair application of those policies. Further, all junior faculty must be provided with the support that they need to advance professionally within the program through mentoring, routine reviews, and support by senior faculty. Challenges to meeting this criterion could include unpublished policies, a lack of formal reviews, inconsistent mentoring of junior faculty, or inconsistent application of tenure criteria across individuals. Tip: look for published policies and procedures. Grievance procedures is the 6th criterion within the governance standard. Please pause the presentation to read this text. This criterion requires that programs publish and disseminate policies and procedures for resolving student and faculty grievances. Programs must also keep records of any grievances and their eventual resolution to demonstrate how an analysis of those records has led to identifying areas of concern and/or potential improvements. Challenges to meeting this criterion could include unpublished policies, not keeping records of these types of instances, or a program not thoroughly resolving a grievance. Tip: look for published policies and a record of grievances. Online integrity is the 7th criterion within the governance standard. Please pause the presentation to read this text. This criterion establishes requirements for programs to verify the authenticity of the students enrolled in an online course or program. If a program is offering online courses or uses distance learning as a modality of instruction, the program must have a way to verify that the student who registers for the course is in fact the student who participates in and completes the course. Online course offerings may require additional costs for students, so these cost estimates must be provided to the student in writing in advance of enrollment. Challenges to meeting this criterion could occur if the program has insufficient methods for verifying students enrolled in online courses, or if the program has failed to differentiate online tuition and fees on its website. Tip: look for how the program verifies the student taking an online course is the same student registered to take it. Thank you. This concludes the module for PAB Standard 5 Governance. On behalf of the PAB Board and staff, we want to thank you for completing this module. We invite you now to return to the PAB website to complete training for this module by taking a short quiz about the information in this presentation. You will receive your score on this quiz, and PAB staff will record your results. Thank you.